Tom Green?
What about Tom Green?
Tom Green next week.
This is Tom Green, best/worst.
No. This is best/worst episode 4.
Episode 4. We made it.
We've come
made
a
it
long
again.
way
I
since
I didn't
one.
think I'd still be here.
No?
I got to be honest.
I thought we'd fire you by
I
now.
thought-
After that school shooting talk.
Oh, man.
Listen back. Listen to the pod. I'm begging you.
The first one.
First episode.
Don't listen.
It's a little embarrassing.
It's not embarrassing at all.
All right, this episode is going to be dedicated. It's going to be dedicated to the MCU in the wake of Avengers Endgame coming out.
The Marvel Comics universe.
Yes. That means for some people, superhero movies.
Yes, comic book movies.
Comic book hero movies.
All right, this week we're going to do the format a little differently. We're going to just go through the timeline of the release order of the MCU movies and just talk about them. Give our thoughts, give our favorite moments. Yeah, characters.
What it means to us and what it means to have friends and family. And
it's been a long 10 years. These movies have really cemented their place in our hearts and movie history.
It has been 10 years, right? What year did Iron Man 1
it's been
come
11.
out?
2008 is when it started. But.
Right.
That's crazy. I remember when our first podcast around, and I remember you had that printed out sheet, and it was the breakdown of how many Marvel movies were coming out and which ones, and it was like crazy because they
chapters,
listed,
like they were.
Yeah, and it was like Black Panther, and like it was just all these crazy things that you couldn't even. It was like hard to imagine.
And I can't believe that's all done.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, now we're gonna have a whole. When this is all over, a whole new slate will be coming out.
Yeah, with all younger actors and
Kevin Feige, the executive producer, head of Marvel movies, said that this isn't even the end of Phase 3. Spider-Man: Far From Home is
the last one.
Technically, the last of the.
Really?
I did see that. Then the next chapter will start.
So, did they have any
No one knows. They're waiting for after Spider-Man to announce.
Wow.
So
another 10-year plan, I assume.
Yeah, I'm assuming. I mean, they're gonna definitely have to introduce X-Men and Fantastic Four somewhere down the line, but
yeah.
I mean, we already know that obviously Black Panther 2 is gonna happen.
Yep.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yep.
What else? I mean, I've heard of rumblings of a Thor 4 possibly.
Yeah, I think Hawkeye, right? Hawkeye's going to come back?
No, Hawkeye has his own TV show. No, he has his own TV show on the Disney Plus app.
What? Wait.
Yeah.
On the Disney Plus app?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and it's him, right? It's the actual.
Yeah, he's going to play.
Jeremy Renner.
They're doing a Hawkeye.
Scarlet.
It's only a one season, so they're not going to have multi-seasons, but then they're also going to have a Loki, and they're going to have a
Scarlet Witch and Vision.
And then a
Winter Soldier.
Yep, Winter Soldier and Falcon.
So you mean like they're going to be having those characters played by other people?
No. It's going to be the actual actors.
Oh, really?
In their own shows.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Well, that's a smart move by.
You can see it all on the Disney app that'll be coming out.
Good. I got stock in Disney, so keep it up, guys.
Oh yeah, this app's gonna be huge. It's only $7 a month when it comes out, and it launches with every Disney movie ever and the new Star Wars TV show.
You mean even Toy Story 3?
Yeah.
Wow.
Every Disney, Pixar.
See, that's like a
National Geographic. That they also because they acquired Fox, so now they own National Geographic, so they have all that content on the app.
I mean, I'll tell you what. If you're a parent and you got like some young kid, that's just like an instant.
Yeah, it's like
just
an
get
app.
that, and they can just watch everything.
What about Toy Story 2?
Okay, Tom. Yes, they're gonna have all of them.
What about
all of them?
One?
Even one? Oh God!
Oh my God!
All right.
Let's get back on track. All right,
here we are.
So the MCU officially started in 2008, a whole 11 years ago. We were just coming out of senior year of high school. Little did we know that.
What month?
The movie?
Yeah.
It actually came out while we were still in high school.
Okay, I was going to say.
May 2nd, 2008.
Didn't Transformers come out the same year?
The original Transformers?
Yeah, I think it was.
No, I think it was 2007.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, The Dark Knight came out.
Yeah.
Of I think July of this year. So this was the first MCU movie to officially kick it off, and it's crazy that we're still. Who would have thunk that they would have such a crazy plan and like?
Yeah.
Not to say they had everything figured out at that one moment, but
yeah.
Did they have the basic idea of coming out with that many movies with Iron Man?
Well, just to get to Avengers, they definitely had that plan.
Oh, right,
because remember at the end of the first Iron Man.
Oh, yep.
Samuel Jackson.
Comes. That's true.
Yeah, but they didn't know how successful if it was going to pay
No,
off.
this movie because Disney before I think this is this movie was made before I think Disney acquired Marvel. Yeah, because Paramount Pictures produced this movie. This is before Disney owned Marvel, and they said that if this movie flopped, Marvel would have been done.
Wow. Yeah, wouldn't exist.
No, not the Marvel that we know.
That's insane.
So this movie was so successful that obviously Disney acquired them, and obviously
think about where we are. Think about like 13-year-olds or 14-year-olds that are seeing the movies now.
Yeah.
That are excited for Avengers Endgame. They were 2 years old, 3 years old when Iron Man came out. Like, we were actually adults.
That's crazy.
It's actually like you have to be like our age to really appreciate it the fullest.
That's like me being in the 90s and being like if Back to the Future was still going and like a 10-year Back to 1985 to 1995, and I'm like excited for Back to the Future like 8. It's crazy that like a one ongoing saga like this has never been done in movies.
And that's what I was thinking about, how impressive it was, like where Lord of the Rings and certain series, they go for like, years at a time. But this, like Marvel, with the amount of movies in the span is like crazy. Like it's a decade.
Yeah.
Like going in like the future, and they talk about movies and certain series and things like that. They'll be like, oh yeah, Marvel, was an ongoing series for a decade, like, which is just crazy.
Yeah. What do you think the second biggest one is? Is it Lord of the Rings?
Of what, like trilogy? What do you mean?
Yeah, like group of movies.
Well, Star Wars has 6. Well, they had 6.
Oh yeah, Star Wars. Yeah.
I mean,
Star Wars is number 2.
The funny thing about Iron Man is that Tom Cruise was signed on. You know that, right? That Tom Cruise was signed on to be Iron Man.
Really?
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
Wow.
The only reason he turned it down, well, they couldn't. They argued over like he wanted his face to be. They wanted a see-through visor.
Really?
So his face would be shown. Like,
oh God, I remember that.
Yeah, remember that?
Oh, he just wanted to be seen. In
the
movie?
Like it wasn't even like it would.
Him not being seen wasn't good enough.
What the fuck?
That's so messed
But Robert
up.
Downey Jr. obviously, who was like coming off of like being like a drug addict and his career was in the dumps.
Yeah.
And like, who would have thunk that like he'd be? Obviously, he makes like fucking $50 to whatever $1 million a movie now.
Yeah.
But like, who would have thunk?
Yeah, like he got like $50 million to be in Homecoming, right?
I think so. He
was barely in that movie.
Barely in the movie.
That's insane.
Oh my God! Well, it's because he got lucky. He didn't have the contracts like Chris Hemsworth and them got.
Yeah.
Like 6 movie deals.
Right.
Where you can't even really. It obviously goes up, but you can't really like budge.
He's the first Avenger.
First, I mean,
even though that's supposed to be Captain America, it's still Iron Man.
I have a hard time thinking of someone else who could have done it better than Mr. Robert for Iron Man.
I mean, I would have liked to see
Colin
Tom
Farrell?
Cruise.
Just Tom.
That's not bad.
I don't know.
That's not bad. But Tom Cruise, I think he could have been like the billionaire. I think he could have done it, but like he wouldn't have stuck around for 10 years.
No.
And the whole visor with the see-through visor, it would have never worked. It would have been stupid.
His little legs running around on set. That little Iron Man suit.
Imagine that. Imagine having the balls to be like, all right, I'll take it, but tell them that they got to change it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a see-through visor.
They got to see me, I said.
There can be a filter. There can be a hub effect, but they need to be able to see my face the entire time.
How am I supposed to connect with the audience if they don't fucking see me?
I wonder how much they were going to pay him compared to what they paid.
Well, Tom Cruise was probably demanding, probably $20 million or something, and they probably got Robert Downey Jr. for like
$8 million,
maybe even less.
Wow,
probably less money than that. But the only thing is, obviously, they didn't sign the deal, the long-term deal. They weren't really thinking 10 years from now they'd be still doing it. They had like probably a few-year plan, but
yeah.
And also, the Iron Man 1 had Terrence Howard as Rhodey. Obviously, he got replaced.
Yep.
And
Forgot about
the
that.
reason he didn't come back is because he wanted more money. Like he would have came back. I think he enjoyed being in the movie. It's just he demanded more money, and they just said no.
Wow.
That's he did that with the rap movie, right?
Yeah, Hustle and Flow.
Yeah, 3 6 Mafia, and they won a Grammy for that movie.
No, they won an Oscar.
Oh, I mean an Oscar.
Yeah, they won an Oscar for that.
That's
3 6 Mafia, dude.
Anyway, sorry. I was recently listening to them, so it brought me back.
Oh, they're so good.
To like high
it's
school.
so funny because that style of rap is so dead.
And I remember too, like because of Chrome, because they would do the tracks where it would just be them calling out future albums. Like, check it out in December, blah blah blah, and one was Chrome Caliona, new artist, and then that's why when we were there, I suggested buying that. Anyway, back to Marvel.
All right, so obviously after Iron Man, it got followed up by The Incredible Hulk, starring Edward Norton. It came out on June 13th, 2008. And it's so weird because, like, even years went by when they replaced him in Avengers with Mark Ruffalo. Like, I was confused if this one was even part of it.
Yeah.
You know, like, they never clarified, but then it was. It is part of the MCU.
I can't remember. Did they have any kind of connection to Iron Man with like little cut scenes, or was there anything there?
No, this one I don't think even had. I mean, I don't remember it having a post credit like with.
Yeah.
You know, there was no Samuel Jackson popping up.
It was a standalone.
Yeah, it was just a classic standalone movie.
And the same thing. I never even like connected the dots. I think between that and Iron Man at the time.
No, not at the time. Yeah. Which they probably, if Marvel wasn't as successful, they probably would have distanced themselves from that. But since they
brought back William
Hurt. It's such a behemoth.
Yeah.
You can just be like, yeah, it's part of it. Doesn't affect it.
No. And
so
they also
sure, it's part of it.
They brought back a good actor, William Hurt, the guy who plays the freaking general guy.
Yeah.
Fucking blanking on his name. He comes back in Civil War.
Yeah.
And he's a great actor, so they're like, they just brought him back, and like, okay, so Incredible Hulk is 100% part of it.
Right.
You know, before that, they never even brought it up.
Yeah.
No, they replaced Edward Norton with Mark Ruffalo, and it's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know, like no one really cared. Like
Edward him and Rhodey both had the actor changes.
Yeah, that's the only. I think it's like the only ones, right? That got actor changes. There's no other.
No, I think that's it.
Yeah, because what's his face? Iron Man's. He stayed the same character throughout. Don Cheadle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he never changed. That stayed.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of like some of the more side characters if they swapped out, but no.
And the Incredible Hulk, obviously Edward Norton was in it as Bruce Banner, and I think the reason why he left is because he was like, he's a notorious asshole, and he wanted like more creative control, and Marvel was like, no, like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, you're either part of this or you're out of this.
So I think he left. It was over creative differences. It wasn't like Terrence Howard with Iron Man where it was over money. Like this is over like. He wanted actual control over the character.
That's ridiculous.
It's like, come on, man! It's a superhero movie. Just stand on the mark.
Yeah, but I've heard that about him. Like he's always an asshole on set. Yeah. He's known to be.
He's a good actor. I mean, you don't see him as much anymore.
Yeah, but that movie sucked.
Yeah, it's definitely. Well, should we spoil it now?
Yeah. I mean,
it's the worst.
It's the worst.
IMDb
probably.
rating is it's the worst. It's the lowest with the 6.7.
Maybe Thor 2.
We'll get to that. Right now, let's talk about Iron Man 2. Let's move over to that sequel.
All right.
Third. That came out third. It came out in 2010.
Yeah.
I hate this movie.
You do?
I hate it. It's my least favorite.
Why? What do you
the third
like
Iron
it?
Man?
It's one of my sorry, I'll rephrase. It's one of my least favorite MCU movies.
Wow.
Really?
Hands down.
Wow.
I think Mickey Rourke is so terrible. He's so Ivan Vanko. Oh my God. He's like, you're worse. Remember that scene?
Yeah.
He's like, you're worse.
That was probably one of like the worst villains.
He has such a terrible Russian accent. There's that scene like when his dad dies in the beginning. And he's like, ah! He like swings in the sky. Yeah. Oh, dude.
Yeah, but he's not even really the main.
He's one of the main villains. There's also Sam Rockwell's the other one.
Yeah.
Right? Justin Hammer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't like. I mean, it had some good things, like introduce Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow. Like that's her introduction.
Yeah, it was pivotal for Tony Stark's character. His character arc. A lot of things happened in that movie, which is kind of, when you look back on it, happened a lot. There's a lot of movies that aren't the greatest, but then there's scenes and things that happen that like tie into the overall story so well.
Well, that's what happens when you have a 10-year saga.
Yeah,
like, even like the most minuscule scene
all of a sudden becomes super important. Yeah.
I just think it's one of the weakest, hands
Worse
down.
than 3?
Yeah, I like 3.
Really?
Yeah, I like his battle with PTSD and shit.
Yeah.
He's not in the suit a lot.
Right.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Definitely better. I mean, it also suffers from a weak villain, but we'll get to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we will. We'll get to that.
Next. Thor 1 came out 4th in the MCU.
Yeah.
It came out May 6, 2011.
Wow. All right, so we're already...
So we're 4 movies deep.
4 movies deep, 3 years in.
Chris Hemsworth gets cast.
He was so big when he first got cast as Thor. In the first movie, he's huge.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at him in Infinity War and like Ragnarok, he's like a regular guy.
Yeah.
He's toned as fuck. I mean, he's jacked, but
Yeah, he's muscular, but like he's not. In the first one, he was like almost like a bodybuilder.
And his long hair. I like Thor so much better with short hair. Like, he was so much cooler.
Yeah, it's funny. I never thought of it like with short hair, or like when they did show him with cut hair. Oh, with the short hair, I was like, oh, it's going to go right back to long. I'm assuming, but definitely like it a lot better.
Yeah, it's way cooler short.
A lot more serious.
You know, Thor 1. I think the thing that they pushed so hard that never truly transcended was the romance between him and Natalie Portman.
Yeah, Jane.
You know, they tried.
Natalie Portman.
Yeah, the first Thor, the second Thor, they tried.
Yeah.
It never took off.
I mean, I still thought initially that Thor was good.
Oh, no, yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
I really did.
Yeah, and she dumped him.
Oh, at the end of the movie?
That's the story, yeah.
Oh, at the end
because he says it. He's like, oh, yeah, I dumped her.
Yeah. He even says it in the movie. Somebody walks up and she's like, oh, can we take a picture? It's like a fan. And then she's like, I'm sorry Jane dumped you. And then he's like, it was mutual, actually. It was a mutual dumping.
Yeah.
Like, even these movies with, like, you know, they're not the great, you know, now that we look back, we have Thor Ragnarok to compare it to. A great movie. Mm-hmm. But, like, you think about Thor, like, they did do a great job casting. Like,
yeah, when it came out, it was awesome.
Yeah, like Anthony Hopkins as Odin, you know, Natalie Portman, a great actor, Tom Hiddleston as Loki. Like,
yeah.
Like, they casted all this, like, great actors. Like, Idris Elba as, what's his name? Heimdall. How do you say it?
Heimdall.
Yeah. Yeah, even it's crazy, like.
Yeah, and a lot of those characters stayed, obviously.
Yeah, like, those are the important ones that
they stayed in their roles.
Yeah.
Loki's awesome.
I think they really came out of the gate strong with casting with that, you know? Like, really just, like, led with a strong foot to begin with.
Mm-hmm. The biggest downfall about Thor, the early Thor, is, like, all his friends.
Yeah, they have all his side characters.
Lame. They were like the most cookie cutter, like RPG. I don't even know, like feeling like, characters.
The warrior, the mage.
Yeah.
The agility guy.
I'm just waiting to play like some dungeon game, and they're just like standing there doing that like rocking back motion. Like, who are you gonna?
And then they were just like non-existent until they died.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden they were important again.
And I'm surprised that they didn't take advantage of that, like all of his friends. I mean, I think
the second one, I think like half of his friends are in the second Thor.
Yeah,
like they narrowed them down even more, and then Thor Ragnarok, they're not even mentioned.
Yeah.
You know,
just too bad, because that would have been. It almost would have been. I know.
No, they die in Thor Ragnarok.
Oh yeah.
Do they?
Yeah, they die when what's her face gets there.
Oh shit! You're
when
right.
When the sister gets.
But even so, like in the first Thor, he had like 4 friends.
Right. Yeah, and when she Odin dies, which is a fucking great scene.
Yeah.
When Odin dies, and then she shows up because him living was the last thing keeping her from being around. Like somehow, his power was holding her back. And you know what's crazy? They even say he would have lived longer, but because Loki put him under that spell. And he was like enchanted or whatever, like all fucked up. It actually like took away from his life, and but when he died, that's when she showed up. And then when he calls Heimdall to get him, she fucking goes in the portal too and knocks them out of the portal, and that's how they get onto Ragnarok, or I mean onto whatever that planet was. And then when she shows up, there's like 3 of them, and they're like in that room. With the sword.
And they die right there, right?
They're in that room. Yeah.
Right,
she shows up and kills them instantly. And that was like it. Like, oh, okay, there's his friends. I guess. Like, they're supposed to be gods.
Yeah.
Like, they're supposed to be like Thor.
And they die so quickly.
Yeah, they're like literally the worst.
Just afterthoughts. All right, well, the next movie, what is this, the 5th? Are we in the 5 now? Wow, look at that.
Wow, it's like you're almost doing them in order.
Yeah, wow, that's weird. Should we not do this in order?
Sequentially.
Should we just do them like random?
We could really confuse people, and just start talking about everything.
Let's spoil Endgame now.
That same year, July 22nd, 2011, Captain America: First Avenger comes out. What a great! It was so funny when they casted him. It's like he played in Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Johnny Storm.
Yeah.
Johnny Storm.
So it was weird when it was like, oh, he's gonna play another Marvel character.
Yeah,
like,
and he was in Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, yep.
And he was in another T movie. Underrated.
Yeah, but like he was like
movie.
basically a knockoff superhero.
Oh, in that movie.
Yeah. So it's like he was like always kind of playing that role. I'm just like, oh, okay, I guess. But then like he got super jacked with the blonde hair and stuff. It was definitely
saw Chris Hemsworth and decided to take notes.
To do.
Yeah. I gotta get huge.
Fucking 300 push-ups a day.
For a while, I really liked Captain America: First Avenger. I mean, obviously, since now, like Winter Soldier is better. So many movies have come, but at the time, I thought it was.
No, it was. Plus,
really
it was a little bit of a change of pace, just in the sense of it was based in like World War II.
Yeah, it was cool because they were doing a war movie.
Yeah, it wasn't as spacey. Well, it wasn't too spacey, but like it was a little bit more, I guess. Believable.
Yeah, I mean, like Iron Man, it was kind of like he's a regular guy. Then the Incredible Hulk, that movie just sucked. So, but with Thor, it was cool because they could just open up. Like there wasn't hiding it anymore. It wasn't like had to play this secrecy. He's a fucking god. He's flying. Like he's got that hammer. And then like, and they bring it back down a little bit, and kind of like you start to get into the world in Captain America.
Yeah,
like, that's when you really start to feel the story because they jump back.
Yeah,
and you're like, all right, like I'm starting to see a scope here and build. Start to build like a tone, an overall tone.
Yeah, realizing how they're really.
And the title has the first Avenger. You're like, oh shit, they're doing the Avengers.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
This is when it starts becoming really apparent. Like, oh shit, they're gonna team all these people up.
Right.
And even this movie, Hugo Weaving as Red Skull, like so many, they do such good casting.
I can't believe he's the guy on that planet. It still
that's
me.
A great like tie-in, like kind of come around.
He gets sucked into the Tesseract and gets banished to that planet.
Whatever that planet was called. Yeah.
That's his punishment.
Just leading people to something to a treasure they can't have.
Yeah.
Except
Only Thanos.
Yeah. Thank God he had Gamora with him.
Next up was the big boy, the Avengers, 2012.
Really? The next movie was the Avengers?
The next year.
Wow.
Dang.
I can't believe it. This movie, oh man, I saw this movie like, how many times did I see this in theaters? 2 or 3?
Really?
Yeah, this movie was crazy. Oh man. At the time, this was like the best superhero movie.
Crazy action.
Besides Dark Knight.
Yeah, it was like the biggest mashup ever.
Oh my God.
Wow.
This movie came out on May 4th, 2012.
Wow.
It's crazy. It's only 7 years have gone by.
Yeah, only. Still fucking 7 years. Holy shit.
It feels short, but it sounds long.
Yeah.
So many movies have come out since then. Like, we're only 6, and there's like fucking 14 more to go.
Wow.
They really start pumping them out.
Yeah, Avengers was awesome because you got to see the version we know now of the Hulk.
Yeah.
So it was like, all right, this is a better Hulk. I'm happy with this.
Yeah.
And you got to see kind of like their roles as that they played when they were together, and how like, Captain America's really like the leader, the strategist. Like he was the one kind of making the plans, telling the guys what to do and shit. And then Tony's like kind of the man in a can who fucking sacrifices, flies that fucking thing up into the portal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And has that flash where he sees everybody dead.
Yep.
And that's what kind of sets off.
I like Loki. I like Loki as the bad guy in this movie too. He's really badass.
He's a good
the first Avengers.
Yeah, he's a good bad guy.
The main villain. And Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye. He fucking.
He's got crazy aim with those goddamn arrows.
Perfect aim.
Yeah, and he's like a bad guy throughout the movie.
Oh yeah, because he like turns him
he's
into his little minion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
He's got don't they have like weird colored eyes or something?
Yeah.
They have some effects, so you can obviously tell,
that they're
he's
under some trance.
Yeah.
Oh, that movie, the freaking final battle scene in New York,
Mm-hmm.
where they're all fighting at once, and it's the camera's panning, and they're all doing cool
standing.
moves.
Yeah.
Like each superhero is bringing you to another one.
Yeah.
Like it was something they follow one, and while he flies by, then all of a sudden you stop here, and yeah, that was an awesome scene.
So fucking epic, that movie. If you actually think about it, even that movie holds up even to now,
Yeah.
because it's definitely better than Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
It's definitely in the top 5 of these MCU movies.
What was next?
Iron Man 3.
And you like that one?
I do. I don't think it's top tier MCU, but I think it's good.
Yeah.
Who's the villain in that one again?
Oh,
Hammer.
yeah, it was Ben Kingsley as what's the bad guy's name in that movie?
He's the guy who can absorb energy. And you can basically, it's like when you put a flashlight through your fingertip.
Yeah,
and it's red, and you can see the veins.
Yeah,
and shit.
That's played by Guy Pearce, but throughout the movie, you think Ben Kingsley's the bad guy. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Mandarin.
The Mandarin.
Okay, that's
Remember
okay.
that?
Now I do.
And it's a facade.
Earlier, I was thinking about it, and I was trying to remind myself because without looking it up was who the Mandarin was in, because I remember you think he's the bad guy, then he's like a puppet, and then
he's just an actor. Remember that scene where he's like, I'm just an actor.
He's an old guy. He's like a coward.
Yeah.
And it ends up being.
But yeah, then there's isn't the post credit scene? He's like in jail, and he's like, do you remember that?
Wasn't even him.
I can't.
Even he wasn't the real Mandarin. There's actually a real Mandarin.
I wonder if they'll ever bring that back.
Yeah,
because they don't really talk about that ever really again.
Yeah, because I'm sure in the comics it was a big deal. I'm sure it was somebody. You know what I mean? Yeah,
I'm sure.
That's the MCU loves to do that.
May 3rd, 2013.
Plant little things that you do that you almost forget about that end up coming back.
I saw this movie at the drive-in.
Oh, I hate the drive-in.
That's where I saw it.
I hate the drive-in. Dude.
Oh, come on.
You like it?
Iron Man 3 at the drive-in?
I do. Yeah, I saw Iron Man 3 at the drive-in.
See, I could do the drive-in. I don't know if I could ever do a drive-in to see a movie for the first time.
No. Like I would go see they're showing Jaws. I would go see that at the drive-in. But I would not go see a brand new movie. You're listening through the radio.
Yeah. Unless you bring a nice radio or you sit in your car, because my car.
How comfortable is sitting in your car?
Yeah, I mean, you try to sit outside, but it gets a little buggy. And then, you sit in your car towards the end, and you're getting tired because you've been there for 2 fucking movies.
Yeah, and you're in your car, and you're eating in your car, and you're sitting in your car. No thanks. You know what I do in my car? I drive.
You know what? I'll take a hard pass.
Maybe what they could do instead of they can take a normal theater, make it a little bit bigger, take the seats out, and then you could drive your car into something like that.
Oh my god!
Like an inside,
a giant warehouse.
Yeah, a giant warehouse.
The fumes kill everybody.
yeah. Someone forgot to turn their car off. Oh.
Yeah, Iron Man 3. This is one where he has that fleet of Iron Men. Don't they come at the end?
Yeah.
When Patrol shows up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he has tons of Iron Men.
One of them saves Pepper. Right? Isn't that how she gets saved?
Pepper Potts.
When she's falling.
I can't, dude. That's a movie where I have not rewatched it, I don't think, since
honestly.
She falls off the bridge and she's falling into the fire, and it looks like she's gonna die. She should have died. It would have been cool if she died. But then this fucking suit flies in and saves her.
Yeah, see, I never...
Fucking lame.
She, is in a suit for the first time.
The Iron Man for me, after the first one, even though I saw the other ones, they were very forgettable.
Yeah, I can remember the first one the back of my hand.
Yeah.
But I can't remember every scene, but I can remember, most of them.
The legendary scene when he shoots the tiny missile. It's the tank's right there, and then he shoots a tiny missile, and then obviously it blows up. It's it was a tiny missile, and it was a really big explosion.
Yeah.
See that coming?
You see his cleverness.
Yeah. No, that was the first one was great, but obviously the other ones.
Let's not forget that one of the coolest parts about seeing a new Iron Man was seeing a new suit.
Yeah.
How the suit evolved over time.
That's actually
that is true.
Because that's so funny, too, when we were talking about little, YouTube clips we've seen and videos just talking about Marvel in general. That was one when they were talking about him being, they were talking about, Iron Man being a big threat to Thanos and reasons why. But one was his constant improvement of his suit.
Yeah.
And every enemy he's encountered and every obstacle, he adapts to it. And such his technology for his suit, too, with the nano technology. And so this new one, I can only imagine, is going to be crazy. But so that was really fun to watch.
Well, the next movie is Thor: The Dark World, November 8th, 2013.
That was awesome.
Big old
this
stinker,
is the 8th movie in the MCU.
Big old stinker.
Yeah, this is a stinker. This is up there with Incredible Hulk as the biggest stinkers by far.
Yeah.
Forgettable.
This is an unmemorable movie that no one talks about.
Yeah.
But like you said, there are parts of it that do connect to the bigger story.
It's true.
Yeah.
You know,
like looking back, there's
Loki
scenes
becoming Odin at the end,
Yeah.
putting his father under like that spell, whatever. The mom dies by the dark elf.
Yep.
So
you
like,
find
big
out
things
that,
do happen, but the movie itself was a stinger.
Yeah.
And I think the interesting thing that Marvel does is because of this building of movies to get to the end game, as a viewer, you kind of forgive those movies because it's for the greater good. It's
it's just like how I said with Incredible Hulk. You can accept it.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't affect it that much.
Exactly, yeah.
It's a behemoth.
Yeah.
And one little tick on a behemoth doesn't really matter that much.
No. And these movies, they're not unsuccessful.
No.
Yeah.
You know?
They're doing like hundreds and billions worth. Like Iron Man 3, when I looked at it quickly, it said 1.2 billion.
Yeah. The budget for Thor the Dark World, which I think is top 2 worst with Incredible Hulk. The budget was 170. You know, you got to think marketing is about half that. So what is half of 170? About 80. You add 80 to 170, so we're at about 250-ish. The movie made $650 million worldwide.
Wow.
So it's not. Yeah, none of these movies are fucking flops.
I know that's what I mean. Then people will continue to go to them because it's for the greater good.
And you have great original movies that make no money.
Yeah. Like fucking Edge of Tomorrow, like one of the best sci-fi movies. Like it's having trouble even making a sequel,
right?
Which they still supposedly are, but like,
Edge of next week.
All right. Well, the next up is Captain America: The Winter Soldier. What a rebound! This is for me right here is top 3 for me. I love this fucking movie.
You know, that is true rebound. That's a good way to put it because you feel like the last few Marvel movies weren't bad.
Yeah, like
it was starting to get a little bit.
Iron Man
stale.
3 was divisive. Coming off of Avengers, it was definitely divisive. I don't mind it, but it is divisive. And then you got Thor: The Dark World, which is almost universally panned. Then Captain America: The Winter Soldier, a spy thriller.
Yeah,
that James Bond. Superhero movies.
This is the start of let's take these comic book movies, but instead of just doing straight comic book movies like Thor: The Dark World, which is basically just a straight comic book sequel. Let's introduce themes of other movies.
Yep.
You know, this one's a fucking 1970s political thriller.
Yeah.
You know, they even got Robert Redford to play the villain, who's like from the 70s, like you know, big actor in the 70s. So like this and also this is when Anthony Russo, and Joe Russo take over as director, and they obviously now they're the golden boys of the MCU. They directed this, Civil War, Avengers Infinity War, and Endgame.
Yep.
So I mean, this is the start of these movies are jumping in quality.
Yeah.
The quality is.
It's the ramping up.
Yeah. God, I love this fucking movie. I love the opening scene when he fucking skydives with no fucking parachute. And he fights fucking George St. Pierre.
And because it was just awesome hand-to-hand combat. You know, there was no real crazy phasers for like the really good scenes. I mean, obviously you had some stuff, but.
And the Winter Soldier's so fucking badass in this movie too. He looks so cool with his mask.
Yeah, he has the mask on. Yeah.
I remember I would play GTA and I would try to do the Winter Soldier, as I call it, which would I'd be in the road. I'd wait for like an 18-wheeler, a big ass truck to come towards me, and I would try to use like the grenade launcher and or a grenade and like throw it like underneath it, because there's that one scene where he throws it or he shoots a car and it flips the car towards him or whatever, and then he just like moves out of the way. Yeah. I remember like you said in GTA, I would like mess around and try to like
try to recreate that.
Yeah, you have the car blow up and go over me or whatever.
Oh, so fucking badass.
Oh, I know GTA was badass.
Do they cure Bucky at the end of that one?
We watched that recap. No, at the end. No, he disappears at the end of Civil War.
He gets to him though.
Yeah, he gets.
Your name is James Buchanan.
But then he's the Winter Soldier / Bucky. And at the end of Civil War, he gets cured by the. Oh my God!
Black Panther.
No, isn't he good in?
No, he is, but he's still like a little brainwashed. Like he's still
confused about his identity.
He's still confused and he's still lost. But then at the end of that one in Wakanda, we saw the recap. They cure him with that shit.
Yeah.
With that machine. But next up, number 10 in the MCU, a little film called Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh my Lanta.
2014.
Yeah.
how about that soundtrack? Let's just get
Chase
that.
loved that movie.
That
August
movie was
1st.
amazing.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Leading up to this movie, I remember people were going to think this is a flop because, first of all, it's characters no one knew.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
Very small characters in the
Remember
whole
that?
scheme of Marvel in general.
Yeah.
And it was coming out in August, which is usually like a dead zone for movies. It's not if your movie's coming out in August, that's not a good thing. But nowadays, it doesn't really matter. But back then, they were like, "Ooh, it's coming out in August. No one knows what's going on with this movie." Then it comes out, and it was fucking a smash
Hell yeah.
hit, dude.
Oh yeah, I wonder how much did that make?
It cost $170,
Yep.
and it made $774.
Huh.
Wow.
That's still
Really good, but obviously like not like the billing club like they a lot of these other movies.
Yeah.
But you know what? For I guess as far as like a comic for Marvel, not like Iron Man. Like we're not a lot of people. What I'm trying to say is not a lot of people were familiar with it. Rather,
Yeah, no.
So for something like that to come out of nowhere and then like not really know the background, go out and see it. I'm sure like the word of mouth on that movie was crazy.
Yeah.
You know, like the initial
The word
people
of
went
mouth.
like the Die Hard, it's Marvel.
Yeah.
But then some people saw it and they were like, "Oh, you got to see this movie."
You
It's,
gotta see Guardians of the
Yeah,
Galaxy. Yeah.
yeah. Whereas
The,
Iron
There's a
Man-
sensation.
the space opera.
Yeah, this is another one. It's a space opera, like
Yeah.
Star Wars, but it's a comic movie, and it also has characters that can sell toys. That's another reason why it took off.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got Groot, you got fucking Rocket. Like this movie's meant. This movie's
The soundtrack.
made to
The
Yeah.
soundtrack's
be. The
awesome.
soundtrack's
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The colors too.
Chris Pratt was so fucking hot during that time.
That's something like Guardians brought into the MCU is that like colorful like acid trip
Yeah. Yeah.
like
really
effect that
vibrant,
has.
like,
yeah. Which I fucking love. I guess is that James Gunn? Is that him doing that?
Yeah, I mean it's his vision. It's his style of movie. I mean, but which is weird because his other movie Slither. You ever seen that movie Slither?
No, but I know.
That's another movie by James Gunn, and that's more of a horror. But yeah, it's his style of movie making, I guess.
That fucking movie hit so hard.
Yeah.
And Groot was so badass. Like it's tough to remember because we had Baby Groot in Guardians 2, and then we have teenage angst Groot.
Oh yeah. So never mind. I forgot. He obviously won't be around.
But
Initially.
in the first Guardians, he's like a full grown Groot. He's fucking badass.
Yeah.
He's huge as fucking. He kind of looks mean, but then he turns around and he smiles and he's like really lovable. But he can do shit. He like impales all those guys and he's like slamming them against the walls. And then he creates that cocoon and saves everybody. And it's like, wow, he's actually like a super powerful, Avenger or a super powerful Guardian. And I kind of just miss. I'm kind of sick of like.
I think he'll obviously be back probably in this movie.
I just hope that he comes back at I don't know, how is he going to come back as an adult? He's going to come back and still be a teenager.
That's true.
You know.
Guardians though, I like Ronan. Obviously, Thanos. Thanos is in this movie, right? I mean,
is this the introduction of Thanos?
Well, he's been hinted at. I remember at the end of Avengers is with the
they
first.
showed him turn and smile.
Yeah.
But this is the one where he calls him. Does he call Ronan boy? He's like,
oh my god,
that scene you guys
that's
like?
the best scene.
That scene's awesome.
Oh shit, I'm trying. Because we used to always say it because we like knew it by
We
heart.
used to always quote it.
Oh my god, that is one of the most badass scenes.
Your
ever.
politics bore me, boy. Something like that.
Yeah, and he was like, and you have the. Oh my god, what the hell was it? I'm trying to remember. But
The demeanor.
that was, the demeanor. Yeah, of
the demeanor of a whiny child.
Yeah.
And then fucking Ronan turns on him, and he holds an Infinity Stone, which is pretty badass.
Yeah.
Not even Star-Lord, Chris Pratt's character, he couldn't sustain the power of an Infinity Stone. He had to join hands with everybody in order to not get blown up. Which spoiler, I don't know if he could have gotten blown up actually, because having rewatched Guardians 2 today, he was invincible.
Yeah.
Because him being a part celestial, as long as that planet was alive, his father tells him, he's like, you're invincible. You can't die as long as the light here still shines. So I think that might be why he survived that space scene where he saves Gamora.
Oh yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
He saves Gamora and then he fucking survives. I think because he's invincible. But then, spoiler, he's not invincible anymore. They can destroy the planet and he gets fucking snapped.
Bye.
Next up is Avengers Age of Ultron 2015.
Wow. This is the epitome of what I was saying. A bad movie, but a movie that holds so many good scenes and important scenes.
Yeah.
Like, there's some discussions between characters in this movie. Because, again, it's an Avengers movie.
Yeah.
So you get to see them all together.
Yeah, there's still some epic scenes. Like the beginning, I remember very epic, them all running through the woods.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, there are cool scenes, but I think Ultron wasn't a good villain.
He was kind of a letdown. He
Yeah,
was
kind of
more
a
of like...
letdown.
He was. I think he was a worse Avengers villain. I think he could have been a better straight Iron Man villain.
Yeah, if there was an Iron Man 4 and like
it was just him versus Ultron, that would have held a little better because he was a lot of Tony. Like, literally, he was a lot of Tony. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of weird for him to be the Avengers enemy, but I guess it worked. There's a lot of good scenes in that one, and the one I always think about is, remember when Thor goes. He leaves, and what does he do? He goes and, like,
oh my god,
climbs in that pool.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I always think about that scene when I think about this movie, and I'm like, what the fuck was that? Like, he goes to obviously to a different planet, because like,
yeah, but there was a reason for that, and I can't.
Because he comes back with the Soul Stone.
Oh, yep.
How the fuck? Oh, I mean, sorry, the Mind Stone. He comes back with the Mind Stone. But it's like, how the fuck does he... He's the one who is responsible for the life of Vision. He was just in that pod, and they like didn't know what to do with him.
Yeah.
And then Thor comes back. Thor goes, takes his shirt off, gets in a pool, gets electrocuted or something. He's like, or something. He's like, it hurts him. And then all of a sudden, it's like back in the in Avengers world, and then all of a sudden he shows up, and he just climbs on top of the pod and fucking zaps him through the thing, and gives him the Mind Stone. And then Vision comes to life. Vision like comes through the pod and like stands up out of it. Oh. It's like so unexplained.
That's when we were like, oh man, this guy's gonna be fucking.
Oh yeah,
badass.
Vision's so badass.
This Vision dude is gonna be wrecking house. No.
Well, he does in Civil War. In Civil War,
not enough for me.
In Civil War, he's badass.
You feel like his character with his powers could like.
No, like his
really
character. Yeah, like
up.
his character is not. His character's not Iron Man, but like he was still powerful.
Oh
in
yeah,
Civil
his
War.
powers.
In Infinity War, he's not powerful anymore for some reason. But in Civil War, he was still powerful. Like he's the one who paralyzes Rhodey.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he's still badass.
Yeah.
He's a beast. But then something happens in Infinity War. He falls in love and he can't.
The reason why I think also I hate Aaron Taylor Johnson. I hate that actor.
Yeah.
He's terrible in Godzilla. He's terrible in Age of Ultron as the Russian Quicksilver.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I hate him.
You think...
he's not a good actor.
You think Hawkeye's going to die? Remember, you think Hawkeye's going to die the whole movie?
Oh, yeah. You see his family.
They keep hinting at him dying.
Yeah.
It's like... And then they doesn't.
Yeah, that
Quicksilver
was
dies
weird,
instead. Quicksilver saves his life. And you're like, oh, okay.
Next up is number 12 in the MCU, Ant-Man.
Yeah. Stanker.
Yeah, your favorite.
I actually,
July 17th, 2015.
I've never seen Ant-Man.
It's good.
You haven't?
No.
Really?
No. I just watched the second one.
It's a stinker. Oh, that one's even worse.
Yeah.
That one's even worse.
That one, because I watched that one, and then ironically, when I watched the thing after it, saying like of the Ant-Mans, that one's worth it.
How weird is it?
The...
Tell me how weird it is that lady is stuck in that fucking...
Oh, yeah.
In that quantum realm, right?
Yeah.
And she gets that, and she makes that scarf.
Oh.
She goes into that quantum realm without that...
Yeah, she's wearing that outfit.
With that garb.
Yeah.
She's got like that post-apocalyptic garb. Tell me how she makes that garb in that world. I want to know that.
It's funny
that is the weirdest thing.
You guys haven't seen Aquaman, Tom, but have you seen?
Actually no.
Oh, it's funny because Nicole Kidman is in a similar situation as Michelle Pfeiffer, and she also has an outfit.
She creates
it's almost identical to Ant-Man.
Garb.
Yes, but it has like a fucking helmet
but it's like,
looks like an animal.
I don't know. Was she eating?
Well, yeah, but in Ant-Man and the Wasp, she's in like some crazy realm.
Yeah, the quantum realm.
In Aquaman, she's like living in some crazy like
right. But I'm saying in this quantum realm, what the fuck is this lady eating? What did she use to stitch together this ruggedy, ragged? It was almost like she found old cloth and just made but she couldn't have. She had to have made it herself.
Oh, I mean, the original Ant-Man, I think the only good thing to come out of it was probably Paul Rudd as Ant-Man.
Yeah, it was Ant-Man himself.
Yeah, like Michael Douglas as Hank Pym. He's a good actor. I'll take that.
The movies.
Yeah, I don't know. Even when I watched the second one, because obviously I hadn't seen the first one, when I saw the what's his face? Yeah, what's his name in the? Is it Hank? His name?
Yeah, Hank Pym.
Yeah. Him and then his daughter, I forget her name.
Oh yeah, she's good too. Actually, I do like her. Yeah,
they were
Hope
bad.
Hope.
They were bad in it, but then I was
Lilly.
kind of thinking, I was like, oh, it's like an interesting dynamic that it's like him and then his daughter, like with Ant-Man.
I do like them. The chemistry in the movie's fine. It's just I feel like the movie's plots aren't necessarily like amazing.
No.
And I like Michael Pena though as his friend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. His friend who helps him do heists and stuff.
Yeah.
He's
funny.
great.
Yeah, those movies though.
Yeah.
I feel like those movies are more for kids.
Yeah. Especially in the second one in the beginning when he does that cardboard. Do you remember that?
Oh, yep. He sets all the cardboard.
He sets all the cardboard for his daughter.
Yeah, because he's on house arrest.
It's like impossible.
It's impossible. You can't. First of all, where are you gonna get all that
It's
fucking
like a
cardboard?
superhero power in
Jesus
itself.
Christ.
The ability to create such a magnificent fort and adventure, all confined within a house,
Yeah.
made strictly of blankets and cardboard.
Yeah,
It's incredible.
It's insane.
And he made the cardboard ant like that, like his buddy is controlling for him, like when him and his daughter are playing.
Oh
It's
yeah.
cardboard ant. They have strings attached, and he's like, "Hey," because like they're talking to it.
Yeah.
And he, like,
It's so
I was
unrealistic.
like, "Oh my god!"
It's obviously for kids.
We're kind of blowing our load on Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
A little too early, but
We'll just graze over it.
yeah,
when we get to it.
well, that thing never happened. Captain America: Civil War is up next, number 13 in the
Great.
MCU.
Great.
Yep, obviously an instant
Civil War.
classic. May 6, 2016.
Yeah.
Obviously, Spider-Man. Big news for this movie was that Spider-Man's in the MCU.
Oh yeah.
Spider-Man.
He Spider-Man.
And they finally decided on one instead of that granny fucker, that other kid. Wasn't it that actor like
Andrew Garfield?
Yeah, wasn't he
Andrew
like
Garfield.
actually like married to some like 60-year-old? Or
No. You're thinking of like Aaron Taylor Johnson, the one I was just talking about.
Oh yeah.
He's married to like a fucking 50-year-old woman.
No, that's what I mean. Because he was the other Spider-Man before.
No. That's Andrew Garfield.
Oh,
he was
that
married.
Andrew Garfield.
He was married to Emma Stone.
Yeah.
That's a little different.
That's a lot better.
That's a lot better.
Crowning
They're
They're
achievement.
divorced now, so it doesn't really matter.
Oh, really? I didn't even
It's
know.
Yeah,
better
they're
to
divorced.
have been married to Emma Stone and lost her than to have never been married to Emma Stone at all.
It's true.
Yeah.
And I liked Amazing Spider-Man 1, but the second
liked
one,
both those movies.
I hated the second one.
I like
Terrible.
because she dies.
That movie was so bad it killed.
It wasn't
Those-
bad.
It was bad. Dude,
You really think so?
Jamie Foxx as the Electro was atrocious.
How?
He was just bad. He was laughable. It was like it felt like out of Batman and Robin. Like that beginning when he's like that crazy scientist.
Yeah.
It felt like the Riddler or something
Yeah,
from
Jim Carrey's
90s. Like, dude,
Yeah.
that's
I think that movie's better than.
if that movie was better, he would not be in the MCU.
Yeah.
They would have made a third one.
I'm just saying. I think that movie's better.
Your opinion's wrong.
Than
No, I was kidding.
Iron Man 3 and
You think so? I don't know.
yeah, the story's way better.
I do like that kid Dean. What the fuck is his name?
The one who plays Harry.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like him.
Dane DeHaan. I think his name is. He was
I like him, dude.
He was hot for like 2 seconds. And he
Yeah,
played,
and then she
Harry Osborn.
dies. Like, 'cause movies are.
I
so
do like that part. I do like when
Movies
she
are
dies.
so scared to do that, and this movie did it. And it wasn't even the third movie; it was the second movie.
Yeah.
So I was looking forward to another one of those. But
Yeah, Sony.
Jamie
missed it.
Foxx was bad.
Terrible.
He wasn't a great villain.
Oh yeah, let's get back to Captain America: Civil War.
Yeah,
know
Captain
how we
America:
got
Civil
over there.
War is a great movie with super important scenes.
Yes,
It's the opposite, you know.
yes.
Mhm.
You got Black Panther's debut. You
Yeah.
got Spider-Man's debut.
Yep.
Like,
Black Panther was badass too.
yeah, the Winter Soldier's badass. It's a great fucking movie.
Yeah, it shows this is like a big moment in these characters in their story arc. You see Iron Man kind of go off the hinge a little bit, and he becomes humbled again because he loses,
Mm.
and you kind of see Captain America's flaws because he's willing to stick up for Bucky just because he's his friend.
Yeah,
So you start to kind of see, it's like these important moments in these character arc that make them who they are and make you more connected to them for having faults. And not just like dumb faults like drinks too much, but like you see them how they react in situations, complex situations. Captain America lied because he never told Tony Stark
about his parents.
He knew.
Yeah.
And he kept it from him.
Yeah.
So it was like, wow, it's for the guy who's supposed to be perfect, this is a big flaw. And then him just protecting him, but then it humanizes him. And Tony Stark, the way like that fight when it's the three of them at the end, it's him, Captain America, and Bucky fighting in that fucking room.
That was pretty.
And you think Tony's gonna win because he's like kind of getting the best of Steve Rogers, and then all of a sudden Steve Rogers just fucking rages out and gets back at him and fucking rips his fucking mask off, and then fucking beating the shit out of him. His face is all bloodied up, and he takes the shield and he holds the shield up. And you're like, oh my God, is he going to chop his head off with the shield?
Oh my God.
Because it kind of seems like he's about to.
Yeah.
And then he, boom, and he cranks it down into the power source for the suit. And this was that older version of the suit where it wasn't just nanomites that could just go.
Yeah.
And he was trapped in the suit because it was dead.
Yeah.
And he can't move it. And it's an iron. And that scene's amazing. And then they get up. He helps Bucky up. Bucky loses his arm in that scene. He's trying to crush the fucking arc reactor in Tony's chest, and he just blasts his arm off.
Yeah.
And then Steve Rogers, after he smashes the shield, helps him up, and he goes to walk away, and then he drops the shield. That was a huge moment. It was like almost like he was accepting his faults and saying, you know what, I'm not perfect. Maybe I don't deserve the shield, because that's what Tony said to him.
Yeah,
you don't deserve the shield. You didn't even make that shield. My father made it for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then he's just like, boom, he just drops. I don't need the shield to be the character that I am. I'm fighting.
The most
for my
iconic scene
friend.
in that movie is definitely the airport scene.
When it's all of them.
Oh God,
that's a fucking great scene. Ant-Man goes Wombo.
Grows. Yeah, that's awesome. Spider-Man's cool in that scene.
That's like because in the Ant-Man Wasp, there's that one scene with Lawrence Fishburne or whatever.
Yeah.
And he says,
they're comparing sizes.
I do like that
was
scene.
21 feet, and then Paul Rudd's like, "Oh, that's good." He's like, "What'd you get?" He's like, "Oh, it's a little bit big." He's like, "No, what'd you get?" And he's like, 63 feet. And he's like, "Wow."
Yeah, that scene was actually really funny.
Yeah, that fight scene is awesome.
Yeah, that was good.
Vision, that's when you see Vision kind of at like his best. Well, Vision's best scene is when he picks up Thor's hammer.
Oh yeah,
that's Vision's best scene in all of the movies. But you see him fighting, it was pretty cool. And then Tony tells him or whatever, he's like, disable him, and he goes to shoot at Falcon's jetpack. Then Falcon dodges it, and he hits fucking Warhammer's chest and kills the power to his suit, and then he falls and becomes a paraplegic. It's pretty dark.
It is
pretty dark.
Thanks a lot, Vision.
Well, next up is Doctor Strange.
Oh,
Number 14.
Yeah.
Oh.
What a great one.
November 4th, 2016.
Sebastian Cumberpatch.
Another fucking...
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Another fucking cookie cutter origin story.
Yeah, this is... Yeah, I mean, this movie has great visuals.
Yeah, the best part about this movie is the visuals.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it.
The magic
that's
and CGI.
I didn't really like this movie, to be honest.
I didn't like it.
It's definitely not like one of their worst, but I personally just didn't.
I like it more when I rewatch it, but when I went and saw it, I was like, kind of let down. I didn't really like the character right away.
Yeah, Doctor Strange, I don't know. I didn't really like him. He was just like too cocky and a little over the top in it. And like after seeing like the other Avengers, movie with him in it and the other tidbits, it made me realize like that's where he belongs. Not having solo movies and big parts, but just being part of the crew and having his moments.
I wonder if in the next phase if they'll make a Doctor Strange too.
I feel like they could I feel like they have room to get it right.
Maybe. They do.
Maybe, I don't know if get it right's the right word, but just have it, I don't know. Because Doctor Strange could be a really cool character.
He's good in
Infinity War. You can cast it, right?
Yeah, when you watch Infinity War, like, Doctor Strange is really good in the
Yeah, he is. He's awesome.
But I found him kind of a fucking asshole and just not good in his own movie.
He just didn't feel deserving of his role. That was like the worst part. It was kind of like you just didn't. He didn't have this long arc.
No, he joins and he like learns it overnight.
And he fucking masters it.
Yeah.
Right away.
The cape, and then that's the whole fucking movie.
Yeah, he gets the cape right away. It's like not a big deal.
There's no lessons learned in that movie. That's what bothered me in that movie. He's like, no lessons learned. He's still an asshole in the end.
Yeah. Oh. And I think the thing about it too is like with like Tony Stark, like trying to do that kind of vibe, you know, like where it's they write him as an asshole, but an asshole that you like, and with him it was just like, nah, I just don't really like it.
Yeah, you're kind of just a fucking asshole, dude.
Because he doesn't sacrifice anything.
Yeah.
Tony has always sacrificed something.
Well, I guess he lost.
I always feel like he
lost his hands though for the so he wouldn't be able to do surgery.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but like, I can't make millions.
Yeah. But
I
now
can't make millions being a doctor, so
Yeah.
instead I'll just be a magic wizard. Like,
yeah, where money doesn't matter.
There's no. Yeah.
And also, this movie whitewashed an Asian role with fucking Tilda Swinton as the Asian one.
What the hell was that? Yeah,
that is the worst case
care,
of
dude.
whitewashing I've ever seen.
They don't care.
Yeah, everyone else around her is Asian, but her.
Yeah.
And not only did they like what a person to cast over, you know, another. I don't know. Like,
yeah, like
she is the oddest looking British
like, is she a
woman
boy,
ever.
girl?
Yeah.
You know, she plays like non-binary characters. Like,
oh my gosh.
Non-binary.
Yeah, it's like you don't know what she is. Like, oh.
Yeah, so I don't know.
But the visuals in that movie are amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, the movie does have some Matrix-y, crazy fucking visuals.
Yeah.
But and in the end, when he beats the guy, it's kind of cool how he keeps going over and over and over.
Oh, actually, that was the other thing.
Momo,
too.
I've come here to bargain.
The bad guy and like his little like crew or his like little minions. That makeup with the eye paint, I thought was the corniest looking thing ever. It was like it was the guy that was trying to get the book from her, and he is in. Actor. He's I'm trying to
with the smoky eyeshadow. Look.
Yeah, it was like a weird smoky.
Mads Mikkelsen?
I don't know his name, but
Mads Mikkelsen?
Yeah, the old guy. He was the bad guy in that movie.
And like
Doctor
him
Strange.
and his crew.
Okay, yeah, it was Mads Mikkelsen.
But like him and his crew, like they had this like weird like eyeshadow, you know, like some
smoky eyes.
Yes.
Out.
And it looked terrible.
It did look stupid.
Stupid. Fucking stupid.
Well,
he was like a knockoff Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah.
Next up is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Another good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, it's tough. It's tough to capture, you know, the soundtrack and all the humor and get it right again. And I think for the most part they do. But it's a tough thing to ask a movie to do that.
This movie hits, I think, on the soundtrack. It hits on the space opera colors.
Yes.
It does that.
Yeah.
And it does the humor. This movie lacks in like
a villain?
In a villain.
Yeah, because Kurt Russell's not the best villain.
Which is why, if you guys remember at the end of this movie, they show those gold people.
Oh, yeah.
And she has Adam,
Uh-huh.
who is like Adam.
They're going to be in the next Guardians.
Yeah. I forget what his name is. Like Warlock or something. It's Warlock something in the fucking comic books. Or he goes by Adam, or he goes by him.
Uh-huh.
It's his chosen name when he's first created. But he was actually going to be in the movie.
Oh, really?
He was going to be a villain in the movie, which would have taken place as the main villain. But James Gunn quickly made the decision that it would have been too many characters and too much story to try to tell in one movie.
That's
so
smart.
they changed it to a sneak thing at the end to
Like,
save it for more movies.
Yeah, like the only way I could see them getting away with it would, because I kind of wish the dad thing, like finding out his dad
worked out.
Yeah, like I wish like that was like a side story, but do it in a way where they kind of do that and get over it pretty early in the movie, and then they did have a kind of a bigger villain.
Maybe that was the plan.
Yeah.
But then maybe they felt like the characters warranted more.
Yeah, and he wanted to really, I guess, stretch out that dad-son relationship.
Because what this movie does is it solidifies Peter Quill as an underdog, because it takes away any real power that he had.
Yeah.
You know, now he can die, and there's like nothing special about him. He's just a human, and it shows a building relationship between him and Gamora, because in the first one they obviously met and then had like a connection.
Yeah, the second one,
the whole joke, joke is that he keeps saying to her like, it's just this some unspoken thing. He says that to her like, it's just an unspoken thing. She's like, there's no unspoken thing. And at the end of the movie, she's looking up at him and he's like, what? And then she's like, it's just this unspoken thing.
Yeah.
And then they hug each other. And then in Infinity War, when we cut to them for their first scene, they're pretty much in a relationship.
Yeah.
It's supposedly 4 years later. From the end of Guardians 2 to when we see the Guardians. It's like 4 years or something like that. So they've been in a relationship, I guess, which I think is the best love relationship in the MCU. I think is Peter.
Yeah.
Maybe, like Mike had said earlier, maybe Tony and Pepper. But Pepper's not really like a superhero.
Yeah, I think as far as like interesting characters, like together and separate, even by themselves, they're the best.
Yeah, like Gamora's badass.
Oh yeah, she's badass.
Like the scene where her and her sister fight. What's the sister?
Nebula.
Yeah, Nebula's badass too. The scene where those two fight each other is fucking cool as fuck. And
I like Michael Rooker in this movie. Yondu.
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks.
Yeah, and that's the other thing this movie does.
Yeah.
Is it gives you a meaning behind this Yondu character who was an evil guy, who was the villain.
But he's really like Peter.
But he actually turns out to be his dad and raised him and saved him from Ego.
Yeah.
And fucking, he's hilarious. The fucking Mary Poppins scene is just so funny. When they're coming down, he's like, you look like Mary Poppins. Is he badass? And he's like, yeah, he's badass. I'm Mary Poppins, yo! It's fucking so funny, dude. And then he dies. It's so sad when he dies.
Yeah.
And then the Ravagers like acknowledge him as a Ravager. And they have the fireworks at the end and stuff. Oh.
Yeah, fucking Sylvester Stallone's in the movie.
It's Sylvester Stallone. Actually makes me like that movie a lot more.
Yeah, no, that's a good movie.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh my god, yeah. Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, he's one of the Ravagers. Yeah.
Oh, because he shows up in the ship to give him the salute.
Mm-hmm. At the end, they put those fucking dope-ass color fireworks and shit.
Well, next up, the same year, Spider-Man Homecoming.
Wow.
Number 16 in the
Bring
MCU.
it on home.
Came out July 7th, 2017.
This one's great. This is a great movie, too.
Yeah. I liked it.
Yeah. Michael Keaton's a great villain.
Yeah.
He's probably top 3 of the villains.
Yeah, when they open that door and you find out oh
my god.
You find out it's Mary Jane's dad. Well, you don't even know she's Mary Jane yet.
Yeah. And I don't think her name is...
She goes by MJ.
She goes by MJ, but her... Yeah.
Is that actress, is that... That's not like... What's her name? Zendaya?
Zendaya.
No, it is her? Yeah.
Yeah, when they open that door, that was like... I feel like... Maybe because we watch so many movies, but sometimes I feel rarely shocked.
Yeah.
You know, you can always kind of see stuff coming. It's like, movies
It was crazy when it was...
It's always foretelling.
Yeah.
But this was like one of those moments where that door opened. I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah,
I really honestly felt like, damn, did not see that coming at all.
Wait, was he Zendaya's dad or was he the other girl? Wasn't it a different girl?
Oh, yeah. Wasn't it confusing to
Yeah, no, it wasn't her dad. It was.
No, it was the girl he asked out.
Yeah, because Zendaya's like, I think she's the real MJ.
She's the real MJ, but she's a loner.
Yeah.
That's right. And the girl he has a crush on that he asks out.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
It's been a little while since I've seen it.
But that doesn't work out.
I think they got Spider-Man right with this one.
Yeah, and then Tony Stark's in it.
Yeah. This is the best Spider-Man, hands down.
Yeah.
What's his face before? He felt a little like older. He
was like in between where it's like he is older, like you can tell he's older, but you can still kind of pass.
Yeah, but with
Tobey Maguire was like a fucking 40-year-old man playing
Yeah.
Spider-Man 3.
He's goth. He's bouncing around.
And Tony Stark in Homecoming too. Again, it does so much for the story arc.
Yeah.
The way you see him care about him. And how he gets mad at him when he fucks up.
It's so cool.
It's his mentor. He brings him in, and he says he's like everybody was against me for bringing in a 14-year-old kid, and it's just like, man, he fucking really cares. And then he's like, because he tricks him. He shows up not in the suit. He sends like a robot, and he's like not even in the suit. And then like that scene where he's like, you're not even. Yeah, if you cared, you'd be here right now. And then the fucking suit opens up,
Yeah,
and Tony Stark walks out, and he's like, "Oh shit, he is actually like here. It's not just talking to me over Bluetooth or whatever."
Marissa Tomei's a great Aunt May. She's fucking hot.
She's hot.
Yeah, she's not the old Aunt May.
Yeah, she's
Tobey
not.
Maguire.
Yeah, it's like, how is that his aunt?
Yeah, I know.
Is that like his grandma's step cousin? She's 80 years old.
Yeah, right.
I know. Yeah, Uncle.
Yeah,
Ben
like when we were 15 years old, our aunts weren't.
Yeah, it always
70
weird.
years
It's
old.
Like,
yeah.
Maybe it's his dad's aunt.
Yeah, great aunt.
It's like his great aunt.
Right.
It's the only explanation for it.
Yeah, not in this one.
Now this one, it's my hot aunt.
Yeah.
And then next up is Thor Ragnarok. Ooh, yeah, baby.
Oh yeah.
Thor Ragnarok.
I saw this movie alone.
Huge tone shift.
Oh yeah, this is what saved Thor.
Unless you want to count, I mean, obviously you count Homecoming as part of the universe, but really you'd feel like you're going from Civil War to this movie. You know what I mean? And the tone change right away.
Yeah, it's a comedy.
Away, he's in that cage and he's talking to the skeleton, and then he gets dropped down. He's hanging on the chain. He's like spinning around on the chain. And he's so cocky. He's like, or plan B, where I bust out of these chains and I knock that tiara off your head. And I stick you in the thing. Like, this dude doesn't lose.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, Thor at this point never really, like, he's 1,500 years old.
Yeah.
And for 1,490 years, he's been just living as royalty.
Yeah.
Living as royalty, getting what he wants, doing what he wants, always winning. You know what I mean? And then in this fucking movie, even though the funny tones, it's where everything changes for him. It's where he really, between this and then the first scene of Infinity War, he loses everything.
Yeah. His dad dies.
His dad dies. His hammer gets destroyed by his sister he didn't know, which, cool little fun fact. I don't know if you guys remember the scene where she explodes the mural.
Yep.
And then they reveal the old mural of her. She used to use the hammer.
Oh.
In that mural, she's holding the hammer.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that explains why she was able to catch it out of midair. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a little bit of a little more there. But yeah, she catches the fucking hammer. She crushes it. Then they go to that planet with Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum's so good in the movie.
We get to fucking see Hulk again.
Yeah, I loved him in that.
He's
that
so
was a great
funny.
Cast right there.
Yeah, Korg. I loved Korg.
Yeah.
The stone
Piss
guy.
off Ghost.
Yeah.
And fucking
Tessa Thompson's great as Valkyrie.
Yeah, she's badass.
Yeah.
Which, where are they?
Oh,
Because they're not in the beginning.
What, Infinity War?
No, they're not there. So it's kind of like, they might actually be alive.
Oh yeah, I wonder,
especially mostly her.
Yeah, I wonder if she's alive.
It's her, it's Torque, and it's Meep.
Meep.
The little thing in the fucking
the weird claw, the knife claw things or whatever.
Yeah. All of them came on the fucking thing. So where the hell are
Hulk's
they?
so good in this movie.
Yeah, Hulk is awesome in Ragnarok. We get to see him. We get to see Bruce Banner again. I love Bruce Banner. I like all on edge.
Yeah, I love. when he becomes Bruce Banner again, he's like, "Where am I?" And he's like, he doesn't know what year
he's like,
it is.
2 years? Yeah. He's like, and then Thor gives him the clothes, and he's like, these are Tony's clothes. Is Tony here? Like, he has no idea what's going on. He's like, just don't. And I love when he's like, when he's in the hotel room with Hulk, and he's like, I like Hulk. He's like, you're strong. He's like, I don't like Banner. He's all science. Ooh, science.
Oh, yeah.
And when he's with Bruce Banner, he's like, I like you way better than the Hulk. Hulk's all smash everything. And Jeff Goldblum, man. When he melts that guy with the big rod.
Oh my god.
That fat lady
so funny.
hands him that rod, and he's like, well, I guess it's the end of your existence. And he just touches him, and he's like, and he turns into goop. And like, Jeff Goldblum didn't know it was going to do that.
Yeah.
Like, he knew it was going to kill him, but he's like, oh, that's what it does? Like,
I didn't see that coming, because he kind of seemed like a quirky, kind of like nice guy. And then he's like, oh no, he's cutthroat.
Yeah, he's a ruthless leader.
That's why I love this movie so much compared to the other ones. Is because it's so rewatchable. Like, it's definitely one of the most rewatchable MCUs.
Oh yeah.
Like, because it's so funny and it's so upbeat, but at the same time very dark.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so fucking funny. Definitely the funniest MCU movie.
Yeah.
Guardians is right behind it, but for me at least.
Yeah.
Next up is Black Panther, number 18.
Mm-hmm. This one I feel like kind of falls back into that cookie cutter.
Yeah, I mean, people love this movie. Don't get me wrong, but I you know, it was just like a typical kind of not origin, but like, you know,
yeah, it just falls into that cookie cutter. The villain, you just fucking, you know, he's gonna win.
Yeah, Killmonger, Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah. I mean, the story was kind of cool about like them fighting, like how they fight in that waterfall and shit.
Yeah, it was cool. Like,
but I just didn't really like. I just didn't like the movie.
Yeah, I know Chase isn't the biggest Michael B. Jordan fan. So
yeah. No, I mean, I didn't. The story was kind of cool what they had there, where you find out like the villain, where his dad was killed by his father, and blah 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 and all that. But like, I still felt like I don't know, like why wouldn't you take the kid? I don't know why they didn't take the kid. Like then just took him with them. I mean, I don't know, and I'm sure if they can show up in ships, they know that he has a kid, and they can track the kid down.
Right.
So you have to blatantly be like, I'm not gonna. I don't know. So that was just kind of like, why would you even do that? And the villain was kind of weak to me.
The fucking token white guy. What's his name?
Oh God, Martin Freeman's.
Yeah.
Everett K. Ross, Martin Freeman.
Like
he didn't even have to be in the movie.
No, it was so stupid for him to even be there.
Yeah, and that's why like this movie getting nominated for best picture. It's just like, really? It's like, I thought Infinity War was better, same year.
Yeah.
And like, it's sad that Dark Knight never got nominated back then. It's like,
I honestly put it like side by side with Doctor Strange.
Really? It's that low in your...
Yeah, but again, like I said, like I rewatched Doctor Strange like at home sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this isn't too bad.
Yeah.
But watching in the theater, I'm let down.
Yeah.
Right? But rewatching it on Netflix for free, I'm kind of like, I guess it is a Marvel movie. Like this, they are cool.
Yeah, like Black Panther's definitely
like cool. Black Panther's fucking badass.
Yeah, it's a good
So like
movie.
if I put Black Panther on my TV and I sit on my day off and watch it, I appreciate it because the rest of the shit I watch that day is the challenge and shit. You know what I mean? It all is low quality. So I'm like, wow, this is actually a fucking kind of a badass movie. But again, like I said, it just falls into that cookie cutter story. Nothing changes. Nothing really changes in Black Panther. It's not
except for Wakanda opening. Obviously, the biggest thing is Wakanda opens their doors to the world.
Yeah.
Which he should have done a long time ago. It's just dumb that
but
they never did anyway.
I know what you mean. Like by the end of the movie, it's not like the other ones where the world
has changed.
It has changed. So now it's like it's never going to go back. It's what's going to happen next.
It doesn't take a different role, like how Captain America Winter Soldier was a spy thriller, or how Thor Ragnarok was a fucking straight out space comedy.
Yeah.
This doesn't take a different role.
No.
It just tells another story that I know.
Except it's for African Americans, and it gives people something to relate to.
I think that was a big culture thing too, because how they tied in like their garb and like what they wore, and like how it was like that tribal kind of sense. So like I see like I definitely appreciate that, like how they kind of tied that in and stuff, and to like be proud of it.
Yeah, I think all the characters are pretty badass.
Like even the
bald chick.
She's badass.
She's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
The scene in Infinity War when it's like all the girls fighting.
Yeah,
that's fucking sick.
She's ruthless.
And Black Panther's awesome. And the smart girl.
M'Baku, he's cool.
Who?
M'Baku, the leader of the other tribe.
Yeah, he's
cool. He's cool.
Yeah, they're badass.
Yeah, Black Panther's sister.
I mean, as far as like powers and he doesn't really have powers.
Shuri.
Well, he does have powers, but with the gear and stuff, like I do like that. I really like the Black Panther, the suit, and how they have that crazy. What's the name of it? The metal, the precious metal that they mine for all their technology.
Yeah, for the shield and for everything.
Like, so I like that because I think it's badass, especially.
Is it animanium? No.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah.
What is it?
Oh yeah, because it sits over.
Yeah,
Wakanda sits over the biggest resource of that metal on the planet. Yeah. That's right.
That's why they've stayed.
Yeah, it's cool how futuristic it is.
Yeah.
I like all the characters. I just don't like what the story does. The story doesn't do anything.
Yeah, to me, it's just not like Thor Ragnarok. Like I said, is rewatchable. This movie is good. I just don't
doesn't change anything for me.
Yeah.
It doesn't add anything to the story for me.
That's why I bump it down into the Doctor. Like you said, Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Ant-Man's a little lower, but
Ant-Man's a little lower.
Yeah.
Well, because that too,
Doctor Strange, Thor.
Yeah.
It almost reminds you of. It's almost like like a weekly episode of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer in the sense of like, all right, who's the villain this week?
Yeah, it just continues on.
Generic storyline, and then it resets, and it's not like it hasn't. At least with Thor Ragnarok, they're trying to get somewhere, then they get out of there, and then like, oh, I can't wait for them to meet up. Whereas Black Panther, it's just that big generic story. It begins, it ends. It's not like they're above.
And how badass is Thor's sister? Not to backtrack, but I think about that sometimes. I'm like, man, imagine if she was good.
Oh yeah, she was
so powerful.
Yeah,
she might have been able to take Thanos one-on-one, dude.
And she's a good villain too, Cate Blanchett.
Yeah,
she's fucking badass. Yeah. Too bad.
Yeah, sneaky, really good villain.
The ability with the knives, with the swords and being able to like that black, like whatever the heck they were made of. Oh, that was so cool. Such a cool effect.
If only she wanted to help instead of
why couldn't she be like Loki?
Right.
Like a sneaky bitch, but
like
still helps in the end.
Exactly.
Well, Black Panther leads right into Infinity War.
Hell yeah.
The crown jewel.
The crown jewel so far. We'll see how Endgame is. April 27th, 2018. I can't believe it's already been a year.
Insane.
I remember watching it and just being like, God, I want to watch that again so bad.
Yeah.
So badly I wanted to watch it again. It's a long-ass movie, and I've seen it like maybe 4 times.
One thing, too, I feel like it was... I think we probably all were waiting for our Thanos fix.
Yeah.
To finally get him, get a whole movie.
Yeah.
And they did not disappoint.
No, this is like
he is so badass.
Yeah,
dude.
This is his fucking movie.
The first scene, dude, he just decimates Thor's life.
I love how, too, when they're on the ship and he kills Loki, and then he basically beats the shit out of Thor and then Hulk, but what is it, Helm something, when he sends Hulk down.
Yeah.
Idris Elba's character.
Yeah.
But he stabs him through the chest.
I just love how that tone they set it instantly, where Bruce Banner hits the ground into Doctor Strange's
right through the
lair,
window,
and he's just like, Thanos is coming, and this is like, it's dead serious, like they're just completely.
In the
scared.
comic books, that's the Silver Surfer.
Really?
In that scene, that exact scene happens.
Yeah.
Him crashing through the roof and in the stairs, and he's like, Thanos is coming. But it's the Silver Surfer.
Oh, wow.
Because the Silver Surfer and Drax the Destroyer from Guardians of the Galaxy team up.
Really?
Yeah, in the comic books, it's not like the Guardians of the Galaxy is this team, and they appear together, and they do things together, and they're always together.
Yeah.
Like, it's like Rocket is never with the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Really?
Yeah, he's a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy in, I'm sure, a couple issues. But he's, like, off doing his own thing, living his own. Groot and Rocket aren't always together. Like, they all... Gamora pairs up with that dude, Adam, from the end of... Yeah, they pair up at one point. There's, like, all sorts of shit that happens. That dude, Adam, holds the Soul Stone at one point and starts becoming too powerful, and there's like a council that fucking shut them down, and then he becomes like omnipotent, and he rids himself of all good and evil and becomes basically like Dr. Manhattan, where he's only off of logic. And by doing that, he creates 2 entities, one of his good, which is like some female called the Goddess, and then some evil dude who was like trying to fucking take over the universe. And then him and Gamora team up, and they take out those people.
Oh, wow.
So like fucking, Silver Surfer was like teamed up with Drax, and they go after Thanos for something. Because in the comic books, Thanos collects the stones like more than once.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then it's him that gets fucking thrown into Doctor Strange's house. It's like, Thanos is coming.
But yeah, no, I mean, that was...
But, it's incredible how they take all this comic book stuff and create a cohesive story out of it.
Yeah.
One that is...
Because comic books aren't very cohesive.
It's so hard to follow because there's so many different storylines going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it all takes place in the same universe. And it's like the fact that they're able to do it and then make it as good as it is. Like, and like he shows up and he's talking to Tony and he's like, where's Vision? And he's like, I lost him. And he's like, who would know where he is? He's like, Steve Rogers. He's like, call him up. Like, he doesn't even know.
Yeah, he doesn't even know what
Civil
War happened.
He's like, we haven't caught up in a tad. And then fucking tells him that scene's fucking great. And then he's about to press it. You know what's funny? You could actually almost blame Tony Stark or Steve Rogers as much as you could blame, like, Peter Quill.
Yeah.
Because if the Avengers never split up,
Yeah.
They would have had a fucking fighting chance.
Yeah, there are feuds over the last few years that happened.
If that shit never happened, they never split up. They would have been together, dude.
Well, that's the point of the movie. Like, at the end of the movie, the core Avengers are still alive, and they're forced to finally team up.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, because the last few years, they've been all fucking scattered and not working together and feuding, and we'll see how Endgame goes.
I mean, I can't wait to see fucking Hawkeye.
Yeah.
As Ronin, dude.
Yeah.
His whole family's gonna get snapped in front of him like fucking the leftovers.
The decimation.
Oh yeah. Do they not call it the snap?
No, the term is the decimation.
If that's what it's gonna be in the movie.
They probably will call it the decimation. In the movie.
Yeah.
They're not going to go. They're not going to call it.
Yeah, because there was something I watched on YouTube that there was when they were going over like theories. They said that's what they referred to.
That's so
it
stupid.
As the decimation.
Well, that's a cool name for in the comic book. I mean, the snap is created by the internet.
The snap is what happened.
Yeah, but they're not. He all he does is snap. They don't say the snap ever in the movie. I mean,
why wouldn't you? They watched him do it.
Yeah, but what's wrong with the term? I don't know.
If it was a bomb, you'd say when the bomb went off.
I wonder what they thought too with like deciding the snap of my fingers with the gauntlet, like deciding that he had to make that motion to do it versus just
that's from the comics.
Because also early in the movie he says with the snap there's the foreshadowing.
Well, he says it,
early,
yeah. Well, I know that, but I'm saying like even if like you know,
like in the comics, I don't want to keep going into the comics because we're talking.
Yeah, because it doesn't really matter.
But in the comic books, one of the times when Thanos gets a bunch of the stones, his first mission is to destroy Earth's sun. Oh, that's his first mission. So it's kind of like I don't even like other people might like Doctor Strange held a time stone.
Yeah.
He never did anything with it that was like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Thanos is the one who has the vision of making the gauntlet and putting all the stones on the gauntlet and harnessing all the power. And like when I watched the movie, I'm like, man, is he like just knowing? Like as soon as he gets a stone, does he just know what to do?
Yeah.
Like he gets the reality stone, and then he's just like, just creates a whole reality.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering too.
Like, is it just? I mean, because it's the power of it. I guess it just comes to him by having the gauntlet to harness it and stuff. But I guess it's kind of cool. I mean, what else would he do? Like smash his hand on the ground?
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess it makes sense. The glove, cool, just a fucking big snap, dude.
Yeah.
And then it's fried.
It's supposed to speak to the sheer power of it. With a simple snap of my fingers, I can
with all 5 stones.
Obviously, more so what they're getting to.
Or 6 stones rather creates.
I mean,
and then fucking Thor standing there, and he's like holding him, and he's like, "What did you do? What did you do?" Like, he like doesn't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Plus, I love some of the like with the stones, like when the reality stone. Yeah. When like he gets them and he like when Drax goes to charge at him, he turns them into cubes.
Yeah, he turns them into cubes.
And then what's her face, the little snail chick, he turns her into like spaghetti. It's all like weird.
Turns her into ribbons. Yeah. What's her name? She's fucking badass too.
Oh yeah, with the little antennas.
Yeah. Oh, I can't believe I can't remember her name.
Yeah, that was
She's cool too, because in Guardians 2, she fights against Ego.
Yeah.
She like calms Ego and is able to keep him calm. And then there's a scene where Mantis, her name's Mantis. Yep. There's a scene where Gamora yokes her up against the wall and gets mad at her. She's like, "What's going on this planet? Tell us." And she's fucking choking her out. And she just looks at her and she goes, "Fear," and makes her feel fear. And Gamora drops her, and she's like, you can see like she's all scared. She's like, "What is going on? What'd she do to me?" Like, it's kind of badass how like, you know, if she was able, her whole story is that she was kidnapped by Ego and was raised on this planet just to used as a tool to make him sleep.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So if she was raised like Gamora, she could probably have some pretty badass shit. Like if somebody hits her with a punch, just that one contact, she could make them feel. Like make you feel fucking suicidal. And just, like,
I mean, she
kill yourself.
Yeah, you know, like kind of cool.
Even with Thanos too.
With Thanos, you know, Peter puts that plan together, which is an awesome scene.
Yeah.
For the record, this was my plan. I love that.
Oh yeah.
I like Peter Dinklage.
Oh yeah.
You were supposed to protect us. Yeah. He's putting his big boy voice on in that scene.
Yeah.
Fucking Peter Dinklage. Oh god.
He's got the gold. He's got the hands.
Asgard was supposed to protect us.
Oh man, I love that movie though.
Oh, it's so good.
Well, so much happens, and there's so much payoff, and you just see so much. I love it.
Oh, all those characters dying.
Yeah.
Or disappearing, not necessarily dying.
I don't feel so good.
I don't feel so good.
Mr. Stark.
Next up is Ant-Man and the Wasp, your favorite, Tom.
Oh yeah, that came out afterwards, huh?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't even realize that came out
afterwards.
I
Yeah.
thought we were done.
July 6th, 2018.
Yeah, big old stinker.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, it's watchable. Like you said, you can put it on Netflix and watch it.
Yeah.
It's
But even that one's not as
chemistry,
good.
But
that's worse than Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
And worse than worse than Black Panther.
I like I said, a lot of the side characters are still good. Michael Pena is still good. Paul Rudd's still great.
Yeah.
But it's just, whatever.
I think it's just how the character just is what it is.
I don't care. I don't care about the quantum realm. I don't care about that old lady. I don't care.
We don't care about the quantum realm in the next movie, Endgame. They're definitely going to do something with the quantum realm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're going to
do a major plot point.
Now that I completely forgot that came out after
Yeah.
Infinity War, so that makes way more sense why that's going to come into play. Because maybe in the quantum there's other, universes, realities, or whatever, so they could find one that they do win or something. Because like, what's his face? Dr. Strange said there was only one, and one.
Yeah, only one outcome.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, he only checked 14 million.
Yeah.
There's infinite possibilities. So he could have checked. He only checked 14 million. He could have checked 14 billion.
Yeah.
He didn't have enough time.
Right, but out of the 14 billion, there could have been a million ways that they win.
Yeah.
Plus, he said I had no choice to Tony. You did it.
As
he
soon
knew
as
it was going to happen.
Well, because he was going to die.
Yeah, yeah.
That scene, man, where it's in him fucking fighting Thanos.
That's a badass scene.
He puts out that huge shield, which he used earlier in the movie against that giant guy. He fucking puts out that huge shield, flies around, hooks his hand to the ground.
Yeah.
Then fucking spins around and punches him. He's like, all that for a drop of blood.
He had that crazy, the morphing hand.
Yeah, and then he can keep changing. That suit is just so badass.
Yeah.
He comes at him with two fists.
Yeah.
And it's like two cylinder circles with rockets coming off his elbow.
Yeah.
And he comes at him and hits him twice. And then earlier he turns it into that giant gun.
Oh,
and he's holding it up to Drax. He's like, you shoot my guy, I'll shoot yours.
Yeah.
He's like, do it, Quill, I can take it.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
Well, the 21st MCU movie,
Captain Marvel. Yeah.
Came out this year.
Unfortunately, I have not seen that yet.
It's good, but like a Doctor Strange, it is very.
I like it better than that.
Yeah, no, it's definitely better than that.
I hold it above.
Like the other movies, it's just a.
I hold it
origin story kind of.
It's like a notch above Doctor Strange, but a notch below Guardians.
Yeah.
That's where.
Surprisingly, the movie does have a lot of outer space.
Yeah,
stuff.
Guardian tones.
Yeah,
with
it's
the colors.
very Guardian-esque, and it's something.
Yeah, there's a lot of colors.
Even from the trailer, it seemed like she spent Is she from the United? Is she from planet Earth? But then went.
Well, in the movie. She starts off living on a different planet.
Yeah.
But she is an Earth person.
She's
but
from
Earth. That's why I got the vibe.
But she touched the Tesseract, which has been in tons of other movies.
Yeah.
That's how she got her powers.
No, I'll give it a watch.
The biggest pluses for that movie for me were that they told the story differently.
Yeah.
They trick you.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. Sorry, it's Chase, but
spoilers.
Spoilers here. But they kind of trick you. They make you think that the villain is the villain, and then he kind of ends up. It changes, and that Skrull guy is so funny. He is so fucking funny in that movie. Who's that actor?
Ben Mendelsohn.
Oh my god, dude, he's hilarious. At the end of the movie, when he's in fucking sweatpants and a sweatshirt, and they're sitting at the table, oh, it's so funny.
Yeah, Jude Law ends up being the bad guy.
Yeah.
Which you didn't see coming throughout the whole movie. But it was a good movie. I think it could be rewatchable when it comes to Netflix or the Disney app.
And the soundtrack was awesome. It was all
90s. There's a lot of 90s
all 90s
rock.
female.
Really?
There was only one male singer. Only one male singing song I heard in it. And it was fucking Nirvana. Yeah, fucking badass.
Wait, so actually, for the Disney thing, the app, they're going to have all Marvel movies in too? Wow.
Every Marvel movie's going to be on it. And not only that, when they come out on Blu-ray, they go right to the app. There's no wait.
Wow.
Really?
So there's no longer having to buy stuff if you subscribe. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And they're going to have all the Star Wars movies.
Because I kind of wanted to watch Age of Ultron and Civil War this week. Like, those are a couple movies that I wanted to watch, but I fucking...
Starting this fall, we'll have the Disney app.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
And my only complaint about Captain Marvel was that I felt like she was overpowered. But they do that in origin stories. The character's always super overpowered.
Yeah, like Thor's always been overpowered in his movies.
And then they kind of level out.
Yeah,
when they get into the real
she'll
movie.
be just as powerful as
Vision's
Thor.
like the biggest example of that. He's just fucking
She'll
so
be right
OP.
there with the team. She'll be
Thor
just as powerful.
was so badass, though, in Infinity War when he does show up with the new axe.
Yeah.
And he just
the lightning's pouring out.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Stormbreaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's so cool.
Well, it's cool because in Ragnarok, he learns, like his father says to him, Odin says, you're not the god of hammers.
Yeah, you don't need a hammer.
You're right, you're the god of thunder.
Yeah.
So, and he realizes his eyes glow, and those fucking circles on his armor like are all electrocuted.
He goes full Mortal Kombat.
Dude, Raiden. Full Raiden, dude, badass. But yeah, like, so you see him, so it's like him at his full potential that way, and then like, then he gets Stormbreaker. It's like a whole nother level.
Oh yeah,
that's better than Mjolnir, his hammer. So it's fucking.
Well, that's all the movies. Endgame, we'll be seeing it in 2 days. Now, the best/worst from IMDb ratings was The Incredible Hulk, and best was Infinity War.
Wow.
Now let's go around the horn here and see what our personal best/worst are. Start with you, Chase. What do you think? What are yours?
Well, I mean, worst. I'd have to agree with it. I mean, there's some movies I want to say like that stood out, like Guardians.
Yeah,
that was just such a different
as like
feeling,
a personal favorite.
You know, but what they sought out to do, which was to come to Infinity War and obviously Endgame, they did a great job as far as like having a conclusion to it. I mean, just the movie itself was badass. Thanos, like we said, delivered. You know, we wanted to see him. We're hoping he was badass, and he was.
Josh Brolin, dude.
Easily the best villain in the MCU.
You got to see all the other characters come together. So, I mean, I hate to agree with... I mean, Hulk, yeah. Because, I mean, there's other movies that are terrible, but there's nothing compares to how forgettable Hulk is.
Yeah.
It's like 100%.
It's forgettable, like, and it's not a great movie.
Thor 2 is the only one.
Yeah, Thor 2's up there.
You could maybe make an argument.
Yeah, Thor 2 and Iron Man 2 for me. But
all in all, I'd have to agree.
Yeah. You know? What do you think, Tom? What is?
Yeah, I mean, I think I have to just agree with that. Personal favorite might be Guardians, but I don't know. Infinity War is just the culmination of so much.
Yeah.
There's so much payoff.
Yeah.
All these years invested seeing all these movies. I haven't missed a movie.
Yeah, we've seen every movie.
I've seen every single movie.
It's crazy
movie.
We can take 20... Well, you missed Captain Marvel, but that's still in theaters. So it's like, whatever. But 20 movies you've seen. It's crazy we've all seen 20 movies. We can actually talk about them.
It's insane. So it's Infinity War is definitely top.
Yeah.
Hopefully Endgame beats it.
Yeah, but I think Endgame might not beat it. I think it's going to be a companion piece. I think we're gonna use both of them because it's technically just a straight sequel.
I think I'm gonna like Infinity War better.
You think so?
Yeah, because I loved that Amazing Spider-Man 2 because she dies at the end, and movies are so scared to do that shit.
But I think this one's gonna have major character deaths.
Thanos wins.
Yeah, but this is gonna have major character deaths.
It's not gonna
This is gonna be the one with all the payoff of the last.
It's not gonna compare to the character deaths in Infinity War. If
Endgame will be permanent.
Yeah, but if Endgame never
Black
happens,
Panther's not permanently dead though.
But if Endgame never happens, it is. Right now, as it stands in the MCU, those characters are all dead.
Yeah.
So we can say, "Oh, well, I know they're coming back."
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's fine. But they're dead.
But they're going to get saved, and Iron Man might be dead.
If I just watched Infinity War, that's would be it.
But you don't think it's more impactful for those characters to come back and Iron Man to be permanently dead?
But right now, like all the characters that are dead, like we talk about how much we love Tom Holland, he's dead.
Well, you know what's crazy too? The ones that survived are the original Avengers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you actually realize
I think at the end of it, I'm going to say to myself, I like Infinity War personally. It's going to have that edge because the way Thanos wins. The way that the end of the movie is the bad guy sitting there, smiling, getting exactly what he wants.
Yeah.
That never happens in movies.
It's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah.
Nobody does that.
It's hard to beat.
Even the best villains in the... What's the best fucking villain that's ever been in a movie? Heath Ledger as the Joker? You know?
Darth
and even
Vader.
he doesn't fucking win.
Yeah.
Darth Vader doesn't fucking win. You know what I mean? Like, these guys all lose, which eventually Thanos will lose. But this movie, it almost is like a benefit of them not doing it like part 1, part 2, how they maybe should have done it, but like they decided not to because part 2.
It technically is, though.
Part 1
technically is part 2 of the story.
It is part 1 to part 2. But that's like almost a benefit of them not doing it that way, is that you can just watch this movie and watch a villain just come in and tool on everybody.
Plus, like, the way, too, like, especially like you were saying, like, where he gets his way at the end. It was, at the end of those moments was just so well written, especially when he snaps and then he appears in that kind of, like, weird, like, dim lit, like,
he's in the Soul Stone.
Yeah, and then and then he sees young Gamora, and she turns around and she's like, "Did you do it?
Did you do it?
Yes. What did it cost?
What did it cost?
Everything. I mean, and then he snaps out, and then he's even like he's weak, and then like
his arms all toasted too.
Yeah, and then
the gauntlet's all
walks
fried,
out to the sunset.
and his arms like all crusty.
Yeah.
So
I just think you're underestimating a 3-hour epic we're about to watch in 2 days.
Oh no, I'm not dismissing it.
With sacrifices of real characters dying for other characters.
Yeah, but if that movie doesn't happen,
yeah, but we're not going to live in that universe. That's a universe where we died right now, and that never
what
happened.
if
2 days from now, Endgame, a 3-hour epic, we'll be watching.
If there was a real apocalypse, I'm just saying they ended this movie the way they ended this movie. Yeah. People want to say, "Oh, this movie doesn't have an ending." It does have an ending. You just don't like it. Yeah. This movie ended. It ended with everyone dying. The bad guy won. So yes, it will be undone. But until I watch that and it's undone, this is where it stands.
All right. I mean? Well,
they can't use these guys to fight them because they don't exist.
I think we have a unanimous decision. I think I agree.
Oh yeah.
Infinity War is definitely their best because I think, like you said, it's the culmination of fucking 10 years.
And they did it right.
It's hard to deny that, even though as much as I love Winter Soldier, I think it's a great fucking movie.
Yeah, Civil War too, man.
Yeah, like those are great fucking movies, but Infinity War is a culmination of 10 years of filmmaking.
Plus, dude, Thanos brings so much to this movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because those other movies were really good. Obviously, they fought each other.
The villains are forgettable, too.
But, like, yeah, that's what I mean. The villains are kind of like, but in this one with Thanos, I mean, he's just, what he adds to the movie is, like,
it's going to be hard for them to move on.
Yeah.
They're going to have to build a new villain.
The next
they just got, they're going to have to probably, I mean, I've heard Galactus is probably.
Yeah, I heard
the next one.
You know, because now that now that they have Fantastic Four,
Silver
they could do Doctor Doom from because in the comics, Doctor Doom is like a real threat. He's not just like a dude wearing a fucking mask. And
and the guy Adam.
Yeah, or whatever goes on with Guardians.
Yeah, he's gonna be used.
They could always introduce. Yeah, it's gonna be something from space.
He's basically like Superman.
Yeah,
he flies and he's beautiful and he doesn't lose.
So we'll see. We'll see what they do. It's gonna take another 5 years to even build it up.
Crazy.
We're kind of forgetting the amount of time that passed and all this build up.
Yeah,
you know, like, we didn't even know Thanos was going to be existing until 4 years into the fucking MCU.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So,
the end of Avengers.
It's at the end of Avengers, 4 years after Iron Man. That's when they first hinted at it.
That's crazy.
And they could have blown it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like that,
they didn't blow it.
No, they never blew it.
They actually delivered, and it's obvious, something like that can sound trivial. Like, well, yeah, I mean, you got to deliver, but it's
Josh Brolin too. You got to give him props.
He's so
it's
good
like
at
Tony.
his role.
It's like Robert Downey Jr. If it's not him, then it might not be as good.
Yeah.
Josh Brolin as fucking Thanos is so good.
Yeah.
Plus, I love how he plays.
His voice.
What's his face in Deadpool too?
So he's really good as Cable too.
Yeah. Which is funny because they even make a Thanos remark or whatever, like reference.
He's a great fucking actor.
He really is, dude. He's such a good villain.
Oh yeah.
His voice is just so badass, and like the way he
Sicario, dude.
His mannerisms on his face and shit.
Yeah.
It's just
The Control Man. He's a great actor.
Yeah.
Goonies.
Who's he in Goonies?
He's the brother.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, Brandon.
No Country for Old Men too, right? Is he the one that finds the money?
Yeah, he's the main guy.
Yep.
Wow.
But, all right, well, that's best/worst episode 4.
MCU extravaganza.
We are going to be seeing Avengers in exactly 2 hours. 2 hours.
2 hours.
2 hours from now.
Oh boy.
No, 2 days we'll be seeing it. So we'll check in next week. We'll talk about it for
Yeah, we can do a little
quick
recap.
a little quick recap at the beginning of the episode, then we'll move on.
Because then we can, what we could do? We could revise and decide basically if what our opinions compared to Infinity War.
maybe I will.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah,
We'll do a follow-up.
that's exciting. We'll see.
Great idea, Chase.
Yeah.
All right,
no problem.
Tune in next week, guys.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks, Tim.
Hey guys, I can't believe you made it all this way. Thanks for listening. You're still listening. You're a champ. You're a soldier. Follow us on Instagram at best/worst. Subscribe to us on YouTube and Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, and Google Play, and give us a listen on whatever your preferred platform is. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.